This is Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and it's time for the first time, it feels pretty good to say that, to look at the 2026 NFL Draft and who the Seahawks could be targeting because, well, I wasn't going to do any type of look-ahead videos when the Seahawks were in the NFL postseason. Now that they are done and we are the world champions, I guess it's finally time to look ahead to the 2026 season and who the Seahawks could potentially be targeting in this draft. I have a couple of different needs that the Seahawks could be looking at the time being right now. We'll dive into could the Seahawks trade back, and then who could some of these players that the Seahawks are looking at be taken at 32 for Seattle. Before we get into any of that, though, make sure that you ring the bell. Turn your noties on, because during the NFL offseason, there's all kinds of breaking news. There's all kinds of rumors. Things happen. Bullets are flying everywhere. We got to come in and do a show every day. And I'll tell you right now, when there's breaking news, I don't care. I'll do the show from my house. I'll do the show from my car. I'll race in to do the show from the studio. Cyril already sleeps here, so we don't have to worry about him getting into the studio. We are going to have content out for you, and you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure that you hit that notification bell and set it to all. It'll alert you every time we have a video coming out, and you will not miss another Seahawks news story again. So hit that noti bell. When we look at the team needs for the Seahawks, here's kind of where I have it pictured right now, and I'm starting at the top at 5, and we go all the way down to 1 down at the bottom. Running back, to me, that is a position that could potentially be of need because, well, we don't know what's going to happen with Zach Charbonnet. Will he be ready to go? Who knows? And we know that Kenneth Walker, a bag is going to get thrown at him. Are the Seahawks going to be able to pay him and keep him in Seattle? Will they franchise tag him? There's a couple of different options for the Seahawks, but I still think that there's a chance that the Seahawks go in and take a running back. Center and guard, interior of this offensive line, I thought was much improved. But I'm not going to sit here and say that specifically at center and at right guard that I feel like the Seahawks are a finished product. Hey, I would love for a center to come in and push Jalen Sundell, and Jalen Sundell beat them because that means that iron sharpens iron, and Jalen Sundell should be the starter. It's the same thing at right guard with Anthony Bradford, and I really enjoyed my time talking with him. Let's see if someone can push Anthony Bradford to the point where either they become the new starting guard or potentially he beats them out and he continues to hold on to that starting guard spot. These are things that I definitely want to see the Seahawks target in the draft. Of course, at cornerback, this is going to fall more in line if the Seahawks do not make some key re-signs there. A couple of guys are potentially going to be free agents for the Seahawks, so if they choose not to sign those guys, Seattle's definitely going to need to bring in a cornerback. And if they do decide to re-sign those guys, there's a chance that maybe Seattle doesn't draft a cornerback. Edge rusher, to me, is a very important position for the Seahawks because, while Seattle clearly has a lot of good edges right now, there is definitely an age issue that could be coming up here soon for the Seahawks, as well as a guy like Boye Mafe who's going to enter free agency. If the Seahawks don't bring those guys back, well, they're going to want to get younger. And even if they bring a couple of those guys back, Seattle's going to want to get younger anyways because you can't just continue to rely on guys who are over the age of 30. I say this is a tentative list right now because, well, the draft will be after some free agency and trade moves are made. So as the time looks right now, those are the positions that I think the Seahawks are going to make the big moves. Before we get into any of that, though, I got to let you know about the merch that we've got going on here at Chat Sports. We've got Champions gear in the black and in the navy. The thing is freaking sweet. Super comfortable clothes. I love my t-shirt right now. It feels so good. It's nice and smooth. Plus, you're repping your favorite squad, and everybody knows that we love to rep our favorite team in the PNW. You get a little bit chilly during this time of year. Guess what? We got some hoodies for you. You can go grab the black and the navy. If you're a little bit more whimsical, you can go in with our mascot little championship gear that we have. Of course, it's always been the mission over all the other BS. Remember, we're going to have the link to go and purchase these in the comment section and description of today's video. All you got to do, you go click that link. It'll take you where you want to be. And of course, even when we're being whimsical, we are being sensical. And so we will have some hoodies there as well. So if you get cold, you can go grab a hoodie as well. It's the perfect gift for yourself. It's the perfect gift for your friend or family member that loves the Seattle Seahawks. The first draft target that I want to talk about in today's video is Tennessee cornerback Colton Hood. Now, Hood is the type of player who can come in and make an instant impact, especially in the type of defense that Mike Macdonald wants to run. Hood is not afraid to put himself into harm's way when it comes to making tackles. It can be hard to find cornerbacks that are willing to make those moves and make those decisions. He's also a great type of cover corner. I think that he would do a fantastic job in Macdonald's system, especially picking it up quickly. He would add into what the Seahawks want to do. He can be a guy who locks down a side of the field, as well as, hey, he's not afraid to go in and bang bodies. Hood would be a great addition, and I think he could really grow and flourish in Macdonald's system. You've seen a lot of cornerbacks have some of their best years while playing for Macdonald. I think Hood could be the next guy there. When we look at potentially going to the offensive line side of the field, Emmanuel Pregnon over at Oregon, to me, is a no-brainer. He is a mean, nitty-gritty type of offensive lineman. He's big, he's strong, he is physical. I've had a lot of fun getting to watch him at the University of Oregon. Of course, you know I run the Oregon Football Report as well. So when I'm talking about a duck, I really do mean it. Pregnon is a fantastic player, and he would really add into the interior of this offensive line, and he could really help push some of the guys who are already on the interior of the offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks. So if the Seahawks went in and they grabbed Pregnon, I don't see how that could be a miss. He also fits into what the Seahawks want to do, get a little bit more of that long zone scheme system rolling. But more importantly, he's going to be nitty, he's going to be gritty, he's going to be nasty. And that's what you look for in a good offensive lineman. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the big draft targets for the Seahawks. And as we get closer to 3, 2, and 1, you're going to see some of my top targets right now for the Seahawks. And there's some really good players that we have not even gotten to go through yet, including one player that I think is a little bit underrated, and I think that Seattle could do some big moves with him. I actually got to see him in person. That's where I realized how good that player was. Let me know down below in the comment section, who do you want the Seahawks to draft? I trust the 12s. We are some of the smartest football fans in the country. When it comes to the National Football League, there are a lot of fan bases that say stupid things, that don't understand football. That's not the 12. So get down below in the comment section. Let me know what your opinion is. So that way, well, I can pay attention and see if you might be on the right track to a steal potentially for the Seattle Seahawks squad. Next player I want to take a look at is the guy that I actually did get to see in person. And I'll tell you right now, he jumped off the field to me. The more that I see his tape, Akheem Mesidor is a beast in Miami. Now, obviously, Bain kind of got the light shown on him, and so he was viewed a little bit higher and will be viewed a little bit higher. But when you look at the stat line of Akheem Mesidor, holy crap. The guy goes out and makes big-time plays. Now, he's obviously a little bit smaller than Bain, so he doesn't quite get the same love that he should. But when he's got 7 sacks on the year, he was making big-time plays against Ohio State. The dude is a game wrecker, and he's the perfect type of player that fits into the Macdonald system. The motor is just go, go, go. And when you have a defensive lineman that has a motor like that, you're going to see a lot of success. Just look at the success that DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, and Uchenna Nwosu, Byron Murphy had this year. Now, I know only 2 of those guys are edge rushers. They had the success because they never stop. They never stop. They just go and go and go and go. That's Akheem Mesidor. He is so underrated. The fact that he could potentially get out of the first round is mind-boggling to me. Some draft experts have him really high and would never get to the Seahawks. I've seen some draft experts have him in the second frickin' round. Mesidor would be an absolute stud. Plus, he helps the Seahawks get younger at that edge rusher position. And I think that he could really learn from some of the older edges and take over in a couple of years while still making an impact next year. Next guy that I want to talk about at corner is Brandon Cisse. This kid is a stud, and he's really freaking young. When you talk about Cisse, he's a little bit of a bigger corner. Well, 6 feet tall, bigger-ish corner. Let's go with that. He's definitely not going to be a Derek Stingley, who's a little bit on the shorter end. He is a game changer. He can lock down a side. He's the type of player, too, that he had to go into the SEC, learn how to make plays, and he is doing so. I also believe we're seeing the beginning of what he can be. When you are young, remember, he's still in his early 20s. He's not even 21, 22 yet. When you have a young player like this, getting him into a system like Mike Macdonald wants to run in Seattle, he's only going to grow because he doesn't have the bad habits. So let's continue to strengthen the defensive back room. Let him learn from a Devin Witherspoon. Let him learn potentially from a Reek Woolen if the Seahawks decide to keep him. let him learn from the rest of the corners that Seattle already has to continue to grow and flourish. Cisse is the type of guy that I could see easily coming into Seattle and making an instant impact. Last guy that I want to talk about, and to me, the number one guy right now when we're talking about that edge rusher position, and it was close, I almost put Akheem Mesidor there, is Joshua Josephs, the edge rusher out of Tennessee. Look at that. There's 3 SEC guys on my top targets. That is fascinating. You got a guy with a lot of potential here to where if he can grow into the things that we have seen, the potential that he has, I think you could see Josephs really take off. Obviously, the tackle numbers are not going to jump crazy off the screen, just like Mesidor's, but you're getting a guy who's a little bit of a bigger talent, who's a little bit longer. The sack numbers, again, they're not going to jump off the screen, but imagine what he could do in Seattle when he's partnered next to a Byron Murphy or a Leonard Williams, learning from a DeMarcus Lawrence, potentially an Uchenna Nwosu, a Derek Hall. This is the type of player that has all the skill set around him that if he's just led down the right path, he could really turn into a star in the National Football League. So right now, to me, when I look at a guy like Joshua Josephs, if Macdonald thinks that he can create and mold Josephs into being a star edge rusher, then I'm going to trust what Macdonald is saying, and I'm going to trust that Macdonald can get the job done. Are you fired up for the 2026 NFL Draft? Let me know down below in the comment section, yes or no. I'll tell you what, I'm pretty darn excited because I think that our Seattle Seahawks can go back-to-back. Plus, I love watching college football, so an excuse to go back into the college football highlight tapes and all those kinds of film studies, film breakdowns. I do love getting to check those out. Let me know your opinion, though, down below in the comment section. If you love today's video, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We're going to have you covered through all kinds of stuff in the 2026 NFL Draft on the Seattle Seahawks. This is my favorite team to cover. I love the Seahawks, and I'm going to make sure that we put out a great product for you. So if you want to see a fan really cover your favorite team, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for viewing today's video, and I'll catch you guys next time.